Hey there, and welcome to Developing and Editing. And we are going to just get going right away by importing in Lesson 6. So let's fire up Lightroom and pick the Lightroom textbook catalog. And we're going to click on Import. And you can find it in your source, or the other thing too that you can do is you can go and actually drag and drop your folder. So here's lesson 6. If we take it and drag and drop it in, bang, then it shows these guys right here. There's no subfolders in there, so it doesn't matter if I have that clicked or not. I don't want to build smart previews at the moment. And under keywords, lesson 6. All right. So now I hit import. And it's added these items to my catalog. Okay, so let's actually just get going right away by showing you how some of this stuff works. And what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the picture of the cliffs in Normandy, apparently. Okay, so now it's an okay photo. It's got it's losing a lot of contrast in there. The sky isn't really that blue, that kind of thing. So one of the things that Lightroom will let you do is do some really quick adjustments. So if we were going to, for instance, take a look at the white balance, that's how it shows color. This is how it was shot. But you can let Lightroom have a crack at changing it. And if we do that, you'll notice it makes it much warmer and certainly changes the way that the color is shown in there. If you want to do some stylistic sort of things, you can pick some different presets. Shade, tungsten. Just play with those and see what kind of things you get. You never really know. Sometimes you can get some different ones. At the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to set it to auto, let Lightroom have a crack at it. Now, tone. You might need to open up the little tone window right here. If you click on auto tone, you'll notice, hey, it makes some changes for you. Sometimes it works pretty well. Other times, not so much. You can do some quick exposure settings. You'll notice here this increases the exposure a third of a stop. This one brings it down. This does a full f-stop. It makes it smaller by a full. So I can bring it back. There we go. If I make it go too far and say, whoa, that's too much, I can actually set it back by clicking on the name. Bang, right here. Okay. So I might want to increase the exposure just a little bit. How about the contrast? Bring out the items on the beach just a little bit. If I might want to bring up the vibrance. Okay. And you can even play with the clarity just a touch, make it a little bit more dreamlike. Okay, now I have to make a confession here. I really don't use these quick develop settings very often, but where I do use it is when I want to do something to all of the pictures. So we're going to go back to grid mode, hit the letter G. And because this is a video right here, we're not going to use that. But if I if I click on the first one, hold down the Shift key, click on the last one, you'll see I picked all of them. Now, let's say we do a photo shoot and we know that because we shot in RAW, some things are a little bit muted in RAW. Or maybe we say, oh, we want all of this to be in black and white. Well, so that would be black and white presets, and we're going to go for black and white contrast, high contrast. And you'll notice it's changed all of these pictures to black and white. Now, if we don't like that, that's okay. We can undo it. And don't worry if it doesn't undo right away. You might have to say undo again, and brings it back. Awesome. Now, I have to admit, again, I don't often do a photo shoot and say, I want all of these in black and white. But one thing that I uh, do a lot of the time is I have a preset that I've created when I shoot in Canon RAW, and I call it Color Punch. Color Punch 1. And it does exactly what it sounds like. It gives it a little bit more color for all of the shots. It's something that I do to every single photo that I shoot in Canon RAW, so I just apply that, and it applies. It punches up the color just a little bit, as well as bringing down some of the clarity. It makes it pretty much look a lot like a JPEG, but it makes it look a little bit nicer. And so that way I've applied it to all of these pictures right here, and I don't have to do it individually. So that is something that's really nice. You can apply different things to the whole set. You can do crops, you can add extra keywords, you can take a look at the metadata on all of the pictures. Metadata is all the information that's embedded in there, like how you shot the picture, like the picture with the with the mountain was shot at 250th of a second at f8.0 ISO 100. It was also shot on a Nikon 40X. And here's the serial number even that it was shot with. So there's a lot of stuff that's actually embedded in the metadata. If this was taken with a cell phone with the GPS data included, then I would actually be able to find the GPS coordinates of the picture, or exactly where the picture was taken. All right, so let's move on. In actual fact, what I want to do is I'm going to undo, back this up, undo the color punch. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to show you how you can actually make adjustments. Let's say you do a whole photo shoot and then you realize, oh man, I was supposed to be at f5.6, but instead I was at 7.1. So what you can do is you can pick several photos all together in a row, and you can adjust the exposure all at once. See how dark they got? So there it is. That's 2 f-stops down. Now, Lightroom can be a little bit picky. Let me just set that back to normal. Now, take a look here. You see how you have different settings? If I add in this photo, then suddenly it gets all darkened. Okay? And you can't make any changes. One of the reasons why is because this was shot in a slightly different format than the others, and so and with a different camera. But if you're shooting with your own camera and you're always shooting RAW, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Look, if I get rid of that one, it comes back over here, and even if I add in this one, there we go. We can make them super overexposed. Excellent. All right, and put it back to the way it was. All right, so on to the next thing, smart previews.